I'll take him on. You watch. I've got a trap set. There's no way a shag will escape this. I've laid out a £5 bar of gold.
Catch your interest? Stick around to hear more from today's guest, Loin Harvey, a 10-year veteran of the Special Air Service and accomplished hunter and guide. I'm your host, William Slaughter. It's my mission to bring to you facts, science, and truth. Nothing is too extraordinary, too dark, or too dangerous for our investigations. Now on to our first guest. After serving in the SAS, Harvey left the UK to travel the world, often spending months in the bush, living off the land. Loin accepted my invitation to come on the show, although with some reluctance. I'll let him tell you about that.
I can't stand being around other people, that's all. William, you promised me unlimited cigarettes and beer.
Here, Loin, take these. And there's some PBR under your chair in the ice bucket.
Yeah, you're all right, Slaughter. Cheers, you ugly wanker.
Cheers back, you stupid piece of...
Jeez, have a beer or something.
Today we are talking about the Cyclopean Shag. For those of you who've never heard of the Cyclopean Shag, I'll have Loin paint the picture.
Imagine walking through the foggy woods. The air's so damp you can taste it. Out of the mist emerges a silhouette, like a man-beast, with matted fur, and in the centre of its head, one giant eye. It's not just a sight to behold, it's a sight that will take your soul.
Loin, give us a bit of insight. What does it take to survive an encounter with such a beast?
I think it's dumb luck I do. The night I saw the shag, I was walking home through the woods. The moon was full and the sky was clear. I had no problem seeing. I heard a sound, so I lay down on the ground. I could see a form approaching my position. All I had on me that night was my knife. I thought to myself, this is some drunk, lost in the woods. Probably best to let him pass rather than take him out. When he got close, I shat myself. It was no man at all. It was a wicked one-eyed man-beast. The thing was growling like it knew I was there. It started shrieking and carrying on. I stood up and yelled, "Yow, yow!" That just pissed it off. I got my big-ass buck knife out. The thing saw the blade, pointed at it, screamed something fierce and ran off. I started yelling, "Who wants some? Come on, bring it on!" There was a really cool echo that night, so I kept yelling for a while. Then I walked home.
And we're back with the episode 2 of the podcast with me, William Slaughter, and the indomitable Loin Harvey.
Hello, hello.
Before the break, Loin was sharing how he survived an encounter with the Cyclopean Shag, a knife, sheer guts, and a good old battle cry. You've spent more time in the bush than most have spent in their own homes. You've tracked lions in the Serengeti, you've wrestled crocs in the outback, but this shag, it's something else, isn't it?
Oh, it's a different beast altogether, Will. It's like the shadow of the forest itself came alive, took form, and grew a bloody great big eye in the middle of it. It's the embodiment of every tale you're told to keep you out of the woods at night. But I'll tell you, it's not the tales that should keep you away. It's the very real chance of becoming this thing's dinner.
I know you've sought out others who have encountered shags. What have you learned?
Honestly, it's been hard to separate the facts from bullshit. But I've seen photos and drawings that make your arm hair stand on end.
I think now is a good time to introduce our second guest today, Cambridge graduate, scientist and researcher, Dr. Crispin Lilly.
I'm so happy to be here. Although I'm bloody jet-lagged, but that's what tea is for.
Help yourself. And there's cold Pabst Blue Ribbon under your chair. Oprah style.
So, I want to tell you what we have learned about shags. For years, my research has centered on ancient sacrificial rites. However, a peculiar pattern emerged in various cultures. Items of great value would often disappear overnight, typically gold or precious stones, which were used in these rituals.
Right, and that's where the shag comes into play, isn't it?
Precisely. Through a series of decoded texts and artifacts, it's become clear that these were not simply acts of thievery by humans. The common factor in all these incidents was a report of a one-eyed creature, a monstrous silhouette seen fleeing the scene.
Sounds like our shag has quite the history of kleptomania.
More than that, William. This creature inadvertently created a culture of blame. Without a culprit, the people turned on each other, leading to the wrongful executions of thousands over centuries. The true tragedy is that no matter how many people were slaughtered, the shag continued night after night. My theory posits that the Cyclopean shag, much like a magpie, is drawn to objects that gleam. It would take these objects, leaving the people in a state of chaos and confusion, fueling a cycle of accusation and ritualistic sacrifice.
That's a bloody revision to the history books.
It's a reminder of how intertwined we are with the natural world and its mysteries. As we encroach on what was once wilderness, we must be prepared for what we might find, or what might find us.
Here, Miss Lily, take a beer. We're going to figure out how to trap a shag.
Trap a shag? Then what?
I'll probably shave it and keep it in my basement for a while. If I can train it, I'll let it live. If not, I'll probably eat it.
I just threw up a bit in my mouth. You'll what?
Never mind, Miss Lily. I'll be sure to invite you over so you can take measurements and run tests.
The shag is an elusive woodland creature. If you're going to trap one, you'll need gold.
And we've got plenty of that. Loin, you think you'll be able to catch this thing alive? I mean, we all know you're good with traps, but a shag is no ordinary creature.
Well, I like to think anything can be tamed with a sack of bloody chicken livers. Besides, if it starts acting up, I've got more than enough knives to hand it its own stinking guts. But I don't intend to make it suffer. I'm no barbarian. A live shag would make an excellent conversation piece, if it'll let me shave it and pet it even better.
Doctor, what if it turns out the shag isn't just some creature with a penchant for shiny things? What if there's a deeper meaning behind why it does what it does? Could there be a connection to ancient beliefs beyond simple theft?
It's possible. In some cultures, the shag is seen as a nasty trickster, albeit a deadly one. If Loin does manage to capture one, he might be tampering with forces he doesn't fully understand.
Like I said, chicken livers have never let me down. Put them in a blender, pour it into a burlap sack, and throw it against the wall until the blood soaks through.
I'm sorry, chicken livers aren't going to work. You have to use gold.
Yeah, this isn't fishing for turtles.
Oh yeah, gold. Whatever you say.
That's all we have time for today. I'd like to thank our guest, Loin Harvey, and Dr. Crispin Lilly. Any closing comments for our listeners?
I just want to say it's an honour and a privilege to be here getting drunk for free on your show.
When I too am feeling a bit tipsy, I think I'll just lay my head down here for a moment.